Welcome in to this month's edition of Trenton Today, here, brought to you as always by Haldeman Ford Subaru, Capital Health Systems, and as well as the Mercer County Prosecutor Office. Matt Mirro filling in for Chris Ermer, Brandon O'Neill behind helping us out, as well as Trenton Central High's Ariana Soto, among others here today with us at Trenton Central High School. It's Bring Your Child to Work Day. I don't know the actual name for it. Is the Trenton Mayor.
Bring your kid to work.
We have to find an acronym of something, as Trenton Mayor Rita Gusciora is here. So it's a unique day, not just for here talking to you, but yes, get some students involved with kind of public or private sector, and it's a unique initiative. I know you have some individuals here today, so it's a great time to be here with you.
Yes, and it's great, especially for the police. We just went to the police station, and a lot of the parents brought their kids in, and it's a great exposure for them to start talking about careers, and it'd be really helpful if a lot of them become police officers, because that's a tough job these days, and right across the country there's a shortage of people who want to go into law enforcement. So it's good to expose the kids and have them comfortable with the surroundings, and there were quite a few. I asked the kids, how many want to be a police officer? Quite a few raised their hands, so there's hope for America.
And you recently hired, some new Trenton police officers. How's that initiative been? Are we looking for still more to become officers here in Trenton, or?
Absolutely, we'd like to bring in more officers as the city's expanding. So are our public safety challenges, and it helps send a message not only to residents but to outsiders that Trenton is a safe place to do business, live, and play, and go to school. And so our public safety officers have a lot of respect from us.
And how hard is that, making that connection with teens and youth? And you said, kids today with Trenton officers, and how high of a priority is that among the numerous jobs they have to do, Mayor? I assume it's a keen priority, for you and your team as well.
It's absolutely one of the priorities, and we actually recruit in this high school, and we recruit. We do information sessions, and we try to get the word out. It's a great career, and it also pays well. So a lot of people should think about it and contact the mayor's office or the police station if you're interested in learning about more how you can become a law enforcement officer for the city of Trenton.
And there's so many initiatives and things that the city of Trenton here, is doing. We're in this, I call it one of the new crown jewels here. This was my first time. I came here at the old Tornado Alley, but to be in this new facility here at Trenton Central High School, and be able to recruit kids here to go right into working in the city, there could be a sense of pride, in doing that. And I think once you kind of instill that in these students, it may be, as you said, great pay. I know for 18-year-olds it's hard to think of that, but insurance and health care and pensions and things of that nature, it can be a no-brainer, even though it is, dangerous to some students.
Yeah, every day they put their lives on the line, but they with a great support network, and this school is a great resource. The state invested $150 million into it. The facility is amazing. They have a pool. They have a great basketball court. They have a great facility. We have a turf field outside, and a lot of educational enhancements in this school. And then this studio itself is quite impressive, and we're lucky that we can partner with the school, because the students get exposure to their first opportunity at broadcasting.
Yeah, Alvin Francis and Mario Caniglia do a great job of getting Ariana Soto. We saw Jessica, your pal here earlier, doing a
and they're
great job.
Friendly too.
And they're friendly. Yes, they're nice. Great job getting ready for the real world, where digital is kind of taking over. Taking over. Something else here in Trenton is maybe the airport. You mentioned we have a press conference later. We're here Thursday at Trenton Central. A little press conference later if you want to kind of talk more on that and some initiatives maybe coming to the localized airport.
Well, Mercer's determined to expand the airport, and that's part of our economic development, our long-term. You can't have an urban area be successful without an airport nearby. And this will be able to attract another carrier and make a lot of convenient for a lot of Trentonians to be able to go to Florida, to go to Chicago, to go to areas beyond. So we're excited about expanding the airport because it will bring a lot of opportunity and economic development.
Now, that's my next question would be, what is the trickle-down effect, so to speak, when, you put money into, whether it's a schools or airports or things that you can see, real world in your community change? What is kind of the trickle-down, I hate to say a Reagan term, trickle-down economics, but something trickling down, to the every man or woman here in Trenton?
Well, it's really important, and if you look at the Route 1 corridor, there's a lot of pharmaceuticals companies up and down, and they stay here because of access to New York, Philadelphia, and the transportation enables them to get to work as well. So we're lucky to have this opportunity to expand the airport, but also it enhances the Route 1 corridor, but it creates jobs. So that many Trentonians can get opportunities to work there.
Speaking here with Trenton Mayor Reed Gusciora here on Take Your Kids to Work Day. We're going to figure out an acronym for that. But do you remember, and as we got students kind of filtering in who are going to help us today, do you remember going when you were a younger child with your father or mother to these career days, so to speak? Or? Yeah,
my dad worked for the Department of Health. He was an entomologist, and so I visited the labs down here in downtown Trenton. Got to go to the restaurants that that were really prevalent in Chambersburg. My mom was a court administrator, so I've visited the court many times, and ultimately I became a lawyer. So it's due to that exposure that kids have that they could really visualize what their parents do firsthand and get an appreciation for a career.
And you brought one of your buddies here, your Hun student, Michael Scheretti. Maybe one day he'll want to become mayor or an engineer
broadcaster.
Or a broadcaster or something else we don't know. But like you said, exposing people, and students and kids to that is definitely huge. I agree.
Yeah. And he's never been to Trenton High School before, and this gives him an opportunity to visit and appreciate all the work that we do here.
I couldn't agree more. The summer is nearing, weather is changing, people are outside more. I'm sure there's a ton of initiatives going on here in the city of Trenton, whether it's jobs for students, the pool hours, things of that nature, anything you want to touch on that the residents are aware of?
Yeah, we have pools throughout the city, and we hire a lot of young people that it's their first opportunity at employment. We hire about 250 kids during the summer. So if anyone's interested in employment opportunities for their kids, they should contact us, the Recreation Department at City Hall, 989-3000. And this is an opportunity for kids to just learn about getting a career or getting their first job to support themselves through high school.
And another initiative that we're going to have coming up this Saturday is the Capitol Health YMCA, Health Day. And being outside and being healthy is so crucial. And the YMCA, does a great job of that. These initiatives, I'm sure you can attest, are great for everyone, here in Trenton.
And that's because of limitations on a lot of our residents to health care. And this gives them an exposure and gives them ideas of how they can get healthcare at reduced rates or access to free healthcare, and particularly with Healthy Mothers Initiative for prenatal care and nutritional guidance and things that skills that they can get so that they deliver healthy babies. We work with Capitol Health and Henry J. Austin. We just opened up a clinic, Medina Healthcare on North Olden last night. And there are doctors who volunteer and come to this clinic, provide free health care to people who can't get health care access because they don't have insurance or they just don't have the resources.
And are you seeing more, because you mentioned it, kind of your last statement there, the access part of it. That becomes, crucial now in health care and care in itself, is that, for certain people, they can't fathom not having access to it. But for a large sector, maybe of your voters or people in this area, the access part is a challenge.
Yeah, they may be out of work. We have a lot of migrants that come into Trenton, and they use the emergency rooms for their primary health care. And by having clinics, it actually, there's less need to go into emergent care. So it really works out in the long run. And that's why hospitals and doctors are so supportive of these clinics and these health fairs, so that people get more knowledge and access to their health needs.
No, we look forward to being there on Saturday over there at the Capital City YMCA event. I believe it's 10 to 2 or 12, something of that nature. We'll be there, was it 12, I think, o'clock? 10 to 12, yes, sorry. But if you go to the Capital City YMCA, all the information is there. It's a great initiative. Vendors, you mentioned plenty of access, which is key. You know, you can go there and get access to things maybe you weren't able to on a day-to-day or week-to-week basis. So we're happy to be there. Weather looks good, so that's solid as well. But it's all a great initiative. So here once again with the Trenton Mayor Reed Gusciora, Ariana Soto, one of the Trenton students, is there helping us. All this, as always, is presented by Capital Health, Haldeman Ford Subaru, and the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office. When we come back from a short break, we'll talk maybe some economic development, and then we'll get the mayor out of here as he's a busy day, and Michael Sharetti from Hunt he's dying to go see other stuff, so we have to get him moving. So you're listening to Trenton Today here on WBCB. All right, would you like to
Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. Mirro Reese, here to tell you about my good friends at Haldeman Ford Subaru on Route 33 in Hamilton Township. For outstanding sales and service, you can depend on the folks at Haldeman Ford Subaru for the best value on new and pre-owned Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs, along with a great selection of value-priced new and pre-owned Subarus. And no one offers the service that Haldeman does in their huge, state-of-the-art service facility. Service so great that many area municipalities and commercial fleets get their service performed by Haldeman Ford Subaru. From Langhorne to Princeton, folks like you to commercial fleets trust the name Haldeman for sales and service. Haldeman Ford Subaru, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. WBCB is now on your FM dial at 107.3. Serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer counties since 1958, you can now listen to all of your BCB favorites crystal clear on 107.3 FM. A new age for WBCB on a new frequency, 107.3.
Hi, this is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I'm proud to help sponsor today's show and promote what's happening in our community. All residents of your hometown should stay involved and participate in community activities, whether it's volunteering to help make your town clean, or volunteering at the animal shelter, or helping at a local youth event. Staying involved in your community makes your hometown a great place to live. This is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I hope you enjoyed today's show.
Welcome back here to Trenton Today. I'm Matt Mirro, alongside Mayor of Trenton, Reed Gusciora, Ariana Soto, Brandon O'Neill, helping us out here, as well as other Trenton students throughout this entire broadcast, which is always brought to you by Capital Health, the Mercer County Prosecutor Office, and Haldeman Ford Subaru. Mayor, we left kind of talking about a variety of things. One of the things I wanted to talk about was, you mentioned this crown jewel here of the Trenton High School. One of the really things that kind of stick with the Trenton area is the Starbucks. And you know, there's been news about it, and any information you can provide to residents or viewers,
Sure.
you know, by all means.
Well, Starbucks back in 2017 had this program called Community Stores, and they only put in a handful of them throughout the country. And one of the locations was Trenton, and it was not designed to generate a profit, but it was their commitment to community building and to give a lot of kids, particularly that are disadvantaged their first job. And it's provided a tremendous opportunity for a lot of our kids. And it was also good for state workers that were coming out of their cubicle and spending time downtown. State workers weren't coming downtown, but then they were like, we'll take a chance with Starbucks. So it's been a really good benefit to downtown Trenton. We understand that times have changed. State workers are coming less to work, only 3 days a week, and it has hurt their bottom line. But nonetheless, Starbucks is still open, and they're working with us about how to save the brand and keep them in Trenton.
Now, have state or federal law, in regards to affordable housing and things of that nature, in certain municipalities, has that helped at all with these properties such as Starbucks and others in your area? Or?
Well, we're actually, that's why we wanted Starbucks to hang in there. The hotel is actually under contract right now. Hopefully that will go through. So you're going to see a hotel again in downtown Trenton. Restaurants are opening downtown, and the city is making a commitment of spending $500,000 in preparation for America's 250 celebration. So we're going to have new sidewalks, new roads, and it will be a way of attracting more visitors. And as the state reopens, more and more of them will come back to Starbucks or downtown. So we hope they hang in there, but we understand business models may or may not work, and they're still working with us, and we're grateful that we're having those discussions with them.
You mentioned, and part of that, one of the issues with Starbucks was, the pandemic and the work days going from some full remote to hybrid to maybe eventually going back to a normal 5-day work week where these businesses and entities can attract more people. But during that pandemic, and it was so tough for these businesses to stay alive, there was a ton of American Rescue Plan funds sent out across the country to different cities and municipalities. I know you mentioned you were blessed with a certain allotment of money. If you want to touch on some of the initiatives, programs, progress, and anything else, by all means.
Well, the Biden administration gave us a godsend of $70 million to deal with losses that were incurred during the pandemic. People stopped paying their water bill because there was a moratorium on bill collection, and so we were able to make up for lost revenue at the water department. We were also able to help some nonprofits and businesses that incurred losses. We're also enabled to make capital improvements to the city. We're doing $3.5 million in improvements to our parks. We're going to upgrade swings and gym equipment. So it's enabled us to really invest in our future and spend money that we normally wouldn't have had but for the ARP, American Recovery Plan funding.
We talk so much, we did, off the air prior, you're the state capital. There's tens of thousands of people daily that come in here from other counties and municipalities, and sometimes driving 2-3 hours from here. How much pride do you take in, like you said, these projects not only are signed and secured and financed, but they're seen through? I mean, a simple thing, like you mentioned, as simple as a sidewalk initiative can really spur a different attraction, to the city of Trenton. And how much pride, do you take, in that as the mayor?
We do. We take a lot of pride that we're unique. We're one of 50 cities in the United States, but Trenton played a critical role in the Revolution. This is where George Washington crossed the Delaware and fought the Hessians and turned the war's chances around. Philadelphia, they just did the paperwork. But they did all the fighting in the streets of Trenton and then went on to Princeton and really turned around the war. There were 10 crucial days, and we're going to be celebrating the 250th anniversary of our founding of our country.
Wow.
And we hope to gain a lot of historic tourism. We have the old barracks. We have the Douglas House, which was George Washington's headquarters. We have the Battle Monument. And we're looking to refurbish Eagle Tavern that was built in 1757 so that tourists, when they come to go to Washington's Crossing Park, They'll come downtown, they'll visit the museums, they'll visit the State House and the historic sites that are all scattered around the city.
You know, we're very lucky living in the Northeast. There's so many historical, places to go and buildings and monuments, and people think D.C. or Gettysburg, which are great places to go, but like you said, almost the turn of the revolutionary, entire war happened in a stone's throw from this high school, and like you said, if you can recreate a portion of that, I know you're a history guy, as am I, it could bring in really a unique audience of people to eat and dine and stay here in Trenton, so, kudos to you for thinking that way.
Yeah, it's all part of the economic fabric, coming to visit the State Museum, but
Yep.
then going out downtown, go to the Starbucks or go to one of the other historic sites, and then spend some money downtown.
Absolutely, yes.
To help our local businesses. So, and it also provides an opportunity for Trenton students to learn firsthand
Yeah.
what was the history of our state and how we got here.
Last thing I want to touch on before I let you go, and we mentioned, the historic in Washington and the Delaware waterfront's always a fun issue to deal with. As the weather turns, obviously people start to think about that. Anything updated or any new initiatives we can talk about, today about that?
Well, we're applying for a federal grant to move Route 29. We feel that was bad urban planning to build a highway along the waterfront. A lot of urban areas like Baltimore have really capitalized on their waterfront and been able to redevelop that for good. So we hope to capture more of our waterfront in the future. Want to invest in Trenton Thunder, make sure that they stay up to MLB standards so that they can attract another MLB team. And Trenton will be a great place in a quick few years.
We talked about, you staying around through a first term and now a second. That's a unique in itself, and we can't thank you enough for all the initiatives you do. I know you're on a tight schedule today, but we appreciate your time, Mayor Reed Gusciora. We appreciate everyone you brought here today. It is Bring Your Child to Work Day. He has a friend of his, Michael Sharetti, who came down here, saw the great facilities here at Trenton. So, Mayor, we can't thank you enough for everything. And we'll come back, talk some more students, teachers, and other individuals here from Trenton Central High School. And you're listening to Trenton Today here on WBCB.
Mirro Reese, here to tell you about my good friends at Haldeman Ford Subaru on Route 33 in Hamilton Township. For outstanding sales and service, you can depend on the folks at Haldeman Ford Subaru for the best value on new and pre-owned Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs, along with a great selection of value-priced new and pre-owned Subarus. And no one offers the service that Haldeman does in their huge, state-of-the-art service facility. Service so great that many area municipalities and commercial fleets get their service performed by Haldeman Ford Subaru. From Langhorne to Princeton, folks like you to commercial fleets trust the name Haldeman for sales and service. Haldeman Ford Subaru, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. WBCB is now on your FM dial at 107.3. Serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer counties since 1958, you can now listen to all of your BCB favorites crystal clear on 107.3 FM. A new age for WBCB on a new frequency, 107.3.
Hi, this is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I'm proud to help sponsor today's show and promote what's happening in our community. All residents of your hometown should stay involved and participate in community activities, whether it's volunteering to help make your town clean, or volunteering at the animal shelter, or helping at a local youth event. Staying involved in your community makes your hometown a great place to live. This is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I hope you enjoyed today's show.
WBCB is now on your FM dial at 107.3. Serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer counties since 1958, you can now listen to all of your BCB favorites crystal clear on 107.3 FM. A new age for WBCB on a new frequency, 107.3.
To Trenton Today, Matt Mirro filling in for Chris Ermer. Trenton Today, as it always is brought to you by Haldeman Ford Subaru, the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office, and Capital Health Systems. Matt Mirro here, Bran O'Neill, Alvin Francis, Mr. Francis. I keep calling him Alvin Francis, and the students are probably getting upset. I keep calling him Mario instead of, Mr. Caniglio. I'm going to get in trouble. I don't know. Ariana Soto back there helping us out. And right now, as the mayor took off to a press conference, we have some new guests with us. We have Mr. Andy Siebert. He is the teach leader for performance arts, and one of his performers here, senior, you are a senior, I did say that, right? Mm-hmm. Karma Diaz. So, Mr. Siebert, I appreciate your time today.
Thank you. Yeah, it's exciting to be here.
It's exciting and nervous.
Yeah, of course. First time doing this.
But performing kind of is that. It's kind of managing both of those emotions into one and then performing.
It really is. The nerves lead up to it, and then in the moment of the performance, it all just kind of comes out, and so, it comes together and works out nicely.
Well, you have a pretty unique performance tomorrow. If you want to tell our listeners a little bit about it, and then we'll kind of expand with Karma on it.
Okay. So our show tomorrow is our New Voices. It's our CTE, Career Technical Education dance program. It's a 3-year program, and this is kind of the culmination of the year's training, choreography work, and so they get to come out, they get to put on performances. They've designed everything from not only the moves to the lighting, to the sound effects and such, and so, it's a full show. It's tickets available. It's a full show. It's a full evening. There's an admission. Plenty of time to come out and support.
I want to talk more about it, but before we do that, how can people get tickets today if they're listening, tonight, tomorrow morning? What's the best routes?
So there will be tickets on sale for folks when they come in if they want to pay in cash. It's a little bit more at the door, but if they want to go online, they can go online to our show. It's our.our.show/New Voices 2024, and there's an online portal there. They can pick their seats. They can get their tickets, however many they need, and they'll get a QR code mailed to them via email, and then they just show that at the door, and they'll get that scanned and come right in.
And you mentioned it's a full performance, so hours upon hours of work, Karma and their performers, have put in. How unique is it for you as a teacher to kind of, now we're at almost the finish line, to see that finished product? How just have a vision, as you mentioned, get through all the hard work that Carmen and others put in to see the near finished version tomorrow. How exciting is it for you?
For me, it's thrilling because I get to work with them over the course of 3 years, and a lot of the technical part. And I've known Carmen now for 3 years. It's her senior year, so seeing her visions, her choreography come together, and then I work with them on the lighting design part and some of the technical aspects. And so getting to sit down with them and kind of see and hear what that idea, the whole performance should look like, and to help make that a reality for them, it's not just a job, it's like a lot of fun to do with them. And so they were worried, they were stressing me out, and I said, actually, this is kind of the fun part, doing this.
Correct.
And seeing it all come together. And then just watching it happen, that's where I get to step back. Because we have students that actually come in and run the crew part of the things too. So there'll actually be kids operating the lights, the sound.
It's great.
So yeah, I get to kind of just step back and watch it all happen.
How many students will be involved in this performance tomorrow?
How many kids are on the stage?
You tell us, Carmen. How many?
I'm not actually sure the total.
If you had to guess, ballpark, how many of your fellow students are involved tomorrow?
Okay, so dancers, there's about 60 dancers, give or take, and then I think there's about 10 stage.
Yeah, we
crew.
have between I think about 7 crew
Yeah.
people altogether.
Okay.
So yeah. So it's,
Now, what is your direct role with performance tomorrow, Karma?
Well, I dance in a lot of the show, but also I got to make 2 pieces, one with one of my friends and then another with another one of my fellow seniors, but I made one for the juniors and then one for the seniors, so I'm a dancer and a choreographer.
Karma Diaz here, who's one of the performers of the event tomorrow that Mr. Siebert, the teacher lead for performance arts, will have here. 3 years, that's a long time for a 17, 18-year-old to be patient. How hard was that?
it was very hard because when I got here, I was seeing those seniors perform. So then, like in my head, I was like, I cannot wait till I'm a senior, and now I'm a senior. So now it's like it's kind of surreal because I'm like, I can't believe I'm here now, making dances and seeing everybody, seeing my own visions being able to be put on stage. It's a nice thing.
What's been the toughest part so far throughout this entire process? 'Cause it's not easy. You're dedicating a lot of your time and energy and extracurriculars and things of that nature. What's been the most hard, or maybe rewarding, I should say, instead of harder?
Rewarding, I think definitely like having a whole vision, and then I think like entrusting your peers and your friends to be able to like complete that vision, and you being able to like help guide them, and then seeing it on stage like during the show or when you're just on stage for like practicing and performing it, it's really rewarding to see.
Myself and Brianna, I was here, we're 15, 20 some odd years removed from high school, but things that you're doing tomorrow will stick with you, I think, for decades, if not forever. Do you think of that sometimes, where you're on stage with your friends or classmates thinking in 10 years we're going to be talking about this still, or? You don't
Yeah,
think-
I think especially like my class, because this is something we've been like talking about since for like 3 years now. So like I definitely think it'll stick for a long time, because this is our last time dancing together before we graduate. So I think it's a very emotional thing for all of us.
Now, Karma, give me the percentage of nerves to where you're going to puke in a trash barrel to you're excited. What's the percentage?
Nerves?
Or you're ready. You're not even worried.
Oh no, I'm nervous because again it's my last show, but at the same time I've been ready for a while, so I think I'm at like a 90%, with being
Great.
ready.
How many friends, family, and loved ones will be there tomorrow, rooting you on, watching you? How many have? How many tickets?
I think if I had to ballpark, like 20. Not
Really?
gonna lie, a lot of my people are coming tomorrow.
Great. And Mr. Sieber, I'm sure you've seen a lot of that where you're at the point now, which is rewarding for you. You may see parents or grandparents or family members come up to you and thank you, for the work, and that can validate, if you needed that, all the time and energy and effort you put in on top of the performance. It's got to be good to know the kind of the ripple effects that had.
Yeah, and that's kind of the fun part, is seeing, after the show, hearing during the show, you hear kids' names shouted out, you hear family, just because they're so excited to see their child up there. And for some of our kids, it's stepping out of a shell that they've been in for a while.
Right.
It's a whole new space, and they're not just performing on the stage; they're performing on a stage with an audience, and it's completely different once the audience is in the room. We did do a preview show for some of our students this morning of the first act of the
Okay.
show. And the preview went really well. The audience was just fantastic, and just the energy that the audience brings kind of amplifies the performance of the dancers too. And you can see them they dial in, and they really all start to work in unison, even more than you might have seen in the rehearsals, where they're getting tired. They're trying to do it. They're trying to get through it, but the energy's wearing down. So I think once the family's there, once those friends are there, that support system's there, it just amplifies the dancers' abilities too.
And Karma, did that help you today, the performance this morning, you think, with your peers?
Yeah, a lot of my friends were like screaming my name so loud, and I was like, oh, I gotta dance harder now, since now you're screaming, now I hear you. So yeah, I think it made it better.
That's great. There are so many avenues we can go as we talk to, Mr. Sieber here, the teach lead for the performance arts. But, I always talk to, Mr. Francis and other people when I'm here, because I've been blessed to see the old Trenton High School, what all of you had to endure throughout the change in this, and now this beautiful new performance arts center you have here at the high school. Talk about how unique it's been maybe for you to see that throughout this entire process as well, this changeover. And now, I would assume 4 years prior, it was the first one at this high school, I guess, correct? Were you here 4 years ago, the performance was here,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yes. So we, it's been quite a ride. And I used to work professionally in theater as well. Although when I came into the district, I was an art teacher for many years.
Okay.
In the old building, through the transition.
It's very unique.
Getting to meet with people from the state saying, here's what a really cool theater would look like. And the great part was they actually gave it to us. And so we have a professional performance space, and we have professional groups that come in that say, like, this is amazing. I don't get to work in places like this very often. So hearing that from the outside and hearing that from people in the industry saying, like, this is amazing, like, that's it's not just empowering, but it's also there's like a lot of responsibility to maintain that
Absolutely.
kind of space. So we try to teach that with the kids, and the kids are fantastic. And I think they've come to appreciate, like, we're able to provide not just a stage to perform on, but we have our technical theater students roll out a dance floor that's designed just for them. And then they install the lighting and everything. So, to have these opportunities that are so close and at industry level for our kids is, it's pretty astounding. And, to see all the years leading up to this, like, it was definitely worthwhile, worth the wait.
And you could argue, wherever Karma goes, next year, the facilities, and I don't want to speak for him, she may be shocked to find out that they're not as good as her high school was, which is pretty remarkable, and a kudos to you and your team as well. Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yeah, and I think, at colleges, everybody's always wishing for the new state of the
Sure.
art, and so, but, what we have here is a foundation. The foundation of what we have is kind of based in, in schools, in professional theaters. So there's a lot of the same lingo, vocabulary. There's a lot of the same opportunity there. Just might be a little bit older walls.
Right.
But, yeah.
Well said. Karma, after this performance, you'll be nearing graduation. What are your plans this summer, short term, long term? Let us hear it. Tell the whole world right now.
So, start with long term. My long term goal, I'm definitely going to Rutgers, the Mason Cross school for dance.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm going for dance education because I want to own my own studio. And, but I for my studio, I want to do something different. Like, I want to do theater and dance in my studio. So that's my dream, and Rutgers was my dream school. So I'm just happy I got accepted. So that's basically my plans after graduation, just getting ready for that.
That's great. Now, if you had to pick an area, let's say when you graduate Rutgers and you start your career, do you think you'd want to come back to this area in Trenton to do dance, or is it something you want to travel all over the world and do it? Have you thought about that long term?
I have actually, because my mom's asked me all the time, but I think originally I wanted to, venture out and try to perform in other places around the world, but I think I want to start out with that, but, Trenton's my home, so I always wanted my dance school to be here in Trenton, so I'll always come back, and hopefully next year I can come back to help out the next seniors with New Voices as well.
That's great. And that has to be just a godsend to hear that out loud from one of your graduating seniors and performing.
Yeah, and Mason Gross is such a great school, and so that was exciting to hear. And I didn't know this info about this.
We're breaking news.
So this
I
is
didn't
breaking
know that.
news.
That's
I'm
pretty
excited
cool.
to
Look
hear
at
that
this.
too. And I was going to say, once you have your own dance studio, like, you come back here and you can do your annual dance show here, and
Yes.
Collaborate.
I know the people that run the place, so we'll get you a discount. But yeah, definitely.
No, it's
awesome.
it's such a unique opportunity that yourself and some of your classmates have. Packed house we talked about tomorrow. Once again, Mr. Sieber, if you can mention again, tell everyone how they can get tickets, the best way to go about it, what time the performance is, what time we should be here, what to expect, some of the just everything about the show. We'd love to hear more. Once again.
Yeah, so the show tomorrow night is at 7 p.m. House open about 6:30, so folks can get here between 6 and 6:30. That gives them plenty of time to get in, get comfortable, find their seats. There will be a few things for sale as well in the lobby, so. And it all supports VPA, it supports the high school and our students. And then the show itself does as well, it supports the dance program. So the tickets, if you go online, you can go to the VPA Instagram, which is TCHSVPA, and in our link there in the bio, there's a link to the tickets. But you can also just go online at it's our.show/New Voices 2024, and that'll take you to the ticketing portal. And you can sign up. Once you sign up, you give me your email address. That'll also keep you in the loop for upcoming shows that we have as well.
That's great. Karma, unbeknownst to you, you may be inspiring young dancers tomorrow. They're in the audience. You don't even know who they are. If you were an 8th grade or 9th grade freshman here at Trenton, what would you tell yourself? What would you tell younger dancers or people who want to get into this? Some really important skills or attributes you need to have if in 4 years you want to be at this, this event.
I would say just keep going. That's really all I can say for real. Cause when I was younger, like I had the need to want to stop or be like, I'm so embarrassed. This is so embarrassing. But like, all I'm gonna say is just keep going. just always keep going, always work harder, because at the end, it's definitely worthwhile. Definitely to be dancing with your friends and your family's watching you. Like, it's the outcome. It will always be worthwhile if you just keep going.
Couldn't agree more. Well,
Can I acknowledge two
absolutely.
people?
Absolutely.
I do want to acknowledge our founding dance teacher. She's currently in the role of acting supervisor for the visual performing arts for the district, Elizabeth Rose Worzinski, and she has worked with these kids for so many years, and she inspires them to really step out of their shell and become not just competent dancers, but become competent leaders in the classroom. And then the woman who took over in her role, Rachel Schwartz, who also works with our students during our weekend programs at Princeton. She works over there, and she came over here to take over as the dance teacher, like I said, Rachel Schwartz, and she's just stepped in fantastic, and she's done so much and in a short amount of time, so I wanted to make sure that they both got their credit.
Absolutely.
Where credit's due.
Well, I hope Mr. Francis gives me updates, or you give him, please, some updates on the event, how it goes. Love to mention it next month when we're here. We can't thank you enough for your time. Karma, congratulations on Rutgers. Congratulations on the 4 years coming to fruition in 24 hours, and all the hard work you did. It's going to pay off, so congratulations.
Thank you so much.
And once again, you're listening to Trenton Today here on WBCB, presented by Capital Health, Haldeman Ford Subaru, and the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office. We're going to step aside, take one more quick break, and we'll be back.
Mirro Reese, here to tell you about my good friends at Haldeman Ford Subaru on Route 33 in Hamilton Township. For outstanding sales and service, you can depend on the folks at Haldeman Ford Subaru for the best value on new and pre-owned Ford cars, trucks, and SUVs, along with a great selection of value-priced new and pre-owned Subarus. And no one offers the service that Haldeman does in their huge, state-of-the-art service facility. Service so great that many area municipalities and commercial fleets get their service performed by Haldeman Ford Subaru. From Langhorne to Princeton, folks like you to commercial fleets trust the name Haldeman for sales and service. Haldeman Ford Subaru, Route 33 in Hamilton Township. Capital Health's primary care network continues to grow, bringing its extensive option of locations to your neighborhood. Whether you're scheduling a wellness checkup or not feeling well, advanced medicine starts with a Capital Health primary care doctor at locations near you in Mercer, Bucks, and Burlington counties. To find a Capital Health primary care location that's convenient for you, visit capitalmedicalgroup.org. That's capitalmedicalgroup.org. WBCB is now on your FM dial at 107.3. Serving Bucks, Burlington, and Mercer counties since 1958, you can now listen to all of your BCB favorites crystal clear on 107.3 FM. A new age for WBCB on a new frequency, 107.3.
Hi, this is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I'm proud to help sponsor today's show and promote what's happening in our community. All residents of your hometown should stay involved and participate in community activities, whether it's volunteering to help make your town clean, or volunteering at the animal shelter, or helping at a local youth event. Staying involved in your community makes your hometown a great place to live. This is Mercer County Prosecutor Angelo Honorfree, and I hope you enjoyed today's show.
Welcome back here to Trend Today, the final segment here. Trend Today, as it always, is brought to you by the Capital Health Systems, Haldeman Ford Subaru, and the Mercer County Prosecutor's Office. Can't thank Angelo Honorfree and his office enough. Everyone over Haldeman and Al Magazine at Capital Health, continuing to be sponsors of this program. We had Mayor Reed Gusciora on. It's Bring Your Child to Work Day, so we see, among high school students, children filtering the halls. Brianne O'Neill, can't thank her enough once again for engineering, and Ariana Soto, who refuses to be on camera. We tried to get her on. She refused. That's okay. I'm not going to force it. We'll just say her name a bunch. Hopefully that's embarrasses her enough. We are here with two of the pioneers of this program here at Trenton. They're going to get mad at me for saying all these things, but I've been blessed to know Mr. Alvin Francis for a long time. Mario Coniglio, I think I met you more via Zoom than I did in person. I think this is the first time. But your presence and energy here is palpable, and we can't thank both of you enough for what you do for WBCB when we're here at Trenton doing basketball games or football games or events. You're available. You let us utilize some of your equipment, and you've been a great partner here at BCB. And Alvin, we were talking before it started. This has been. And it's 5 years now, but for me, it was the first time here, so I have to kind of touch on it. That we first talked. I said we were at a church, I think on Chestnut Street, in the basement, and you were waving out blueprints of what this facility would be. And now, 5 years later, you're saying, "Oh, man, I wish I missed that time."
Yeah, I mean, and prior to that, that whole plan was probably about 15 years before. So for us, it was, is this thing going to happen for real this time?
Yeah.
So I'm very excited that it did happen, and we're in this nice, big, beautiful space out of a tiny little cramped basement that we had over at 525 Chestnut. And so, I can't even imagine, even though there are times that I kind of miss that cramped little space that we had, because you kind of get to know all the kids. We had maybe about 350 kids in the building, and you kind of know every single one of them. In the space that we're in right now, we have over 2,000 students, and so sometimes it kind of gets overwhelming.
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
but nonetheless, we love the space that we have now, and we try to take advantage of all the equipment and all the technology that we have with us. And moreover, I'd just like to take this opportunity to say thanks for BCB for partnering with us, because with you being a partner with us, we are able to provide the kids with opportunities that we wouldn't be able to do otherwise. So thanks.
Well, it's really been our pleasure. And Brianne will attest. It's something that, for all the stuff that we have to do monthly, it drives us nuts. Coming here and interact with students, it's almost like a breath of fresh air. We get back to our office and we go, okay, I'm not going to complain as much, because we're so lucky to be where we are now. And Mario, likewise, what you've done here. Talk about to see it like same way Alvin did from the beginning to now. What's been the most rewarding? What's been the most gut wrenching? Just all of it. How's it been?
Well, as you said, the space is beautiful, and for me, this is year 5. I wasn't with the Trenton Central Schools prior, so I don't really know what they had there, but this is absolutely beautiful, and it produces a ton of opportunities for students here, and so I'm really excited about it. The students are excited about it, and you couldn't ask for a better space.
Well, one of the things too, this program itself didn't exist in the other space, so this is a brand new program. And so my vision over the years was to develop a radio program, but that takes a long time with all the FCC studies and everything else that you have to go through and regulations. But then I looked at where the technology was going, and podcast was fast and coming. You listen to a lot of the syndicated radio shows, and a lot of them are podcasts. And so I said, why not go in that direction? And so my superiors, agreed with me and, gave me the opportunity to set this program up. So my goal is to watch this program grow as much, as we're able to grow it, and give thanks to Mr. Coniglio. He's very enthusiastic and is always trying to push his kids, giving them different challenges. And for the most part, they all step up to the challenge.
We talked about projects, with Mr. Sieber a few minutes ago. Mario, are there some projects now as we get towards the year end? We did this year. We're wrapping up. That some of the graduating Trenton Central students are either finishing or just did, or
So in the last marking period, we had students, the underclassmen, so my juniors were working on radio jingle projects, and we celebrated their successes, and hoping that those students are going to take some of the work that they created here in audio technology and put that towards Media Fest, which I'm sure Mr. Francis will touch on in this segment in a few moments. The seniors right now are currently working on their senior video project, so I do a little bit of video here in audio broadcasting. And so right now they have the option of creating sort of like a baby evolution, so like pictures of them from being infants up to now, put some music underneath it, and represent themselves that way. So they're kind of working on things of that nature presently, and in my audio technology group, as they're now learning the podcasting. So I'm actually teaching them this space right now. So.
wow. Alvin, we talked about Media Blitz. Is that what it's called?
Media Fest.
I'd love to hear more about that. How we can promote it. When is it upcoming? Let it rip.
Media Fest, we've had it in the past, and it's kind of an opportunity for for us to showcase what the kids have been doing the whole year, mostly the seniors, but we open it up to all the kids that's in all of our programs. So it involves audio broadcasting, video productions, photography, and digital media. And so this year is going to be June 5th from 5 to 7. And so I hope, people will come out and see what our kids have been doing, get some hands-on activity going as well for our visitors, so that they could take a step in our kids' shoes and see what it is that they do in terms of being creative. A lot of times when you have programs like these, you'll have a kid that probably don't want to come to school, but will come to school because they know when they come here, they're going to get to play with, I call them toys, because that for me, that they're not work for me, they're toys.
Correct.
And I'll sit behind a computer, not writing a paper, but you put my creative hat on and just, whether it's editing or whatever the case may be, I could get lost in the moment. So yes, June 5th from 5 to 7, and hope we'll see some of you guys there.
I'm sure there's been so many notable stories of graduating seniors and that are either now in college or have graduated college. This question is kind of for both of you, and I'll start with you, Alvin. Is there one individual or a couple people that you've heard back from that has really just been unique, or any success stories we can share? By all means.
I don't remember if you remember Devont Leak when we were over at the church over at Chestnut. He was one of our seniors. I think he graduated either 2018 or 2019.
I think he was on a recent Zoom call. I think I met him.
Okay, yes, right.
Ago.
And so he went to my alma mater, which is William Patterson, and he did his intern with Sirius Radio, and now he's out in Minnesota hosting a nighttime radio show out there. So
wow.
So he's one of the ones that came through our programs, come through our doors, and is out there doing great things.
Mario as well.
So, like I said, I've only been here for even though it's 5 years,
sure.
I'm in a short period of time. However, there has been one student that wasn't from this school, it's from one of my other schools.
Okay.
And so his name is Samori Rose, and he actually was one of my football players. He wanted to be a sports analyst, so he used his love for the game as far as playing it, and he channeled that into something with regard to radio. So we used to do radio broadcasts there on like a little bit of a delay because we ran it through the TV.
Sure.
We ran it through the TV station, and so that's kind of how he got a feel for it. He really loved doing it, and he channeled that. And he also is a graduate of William Patterson, so shout out to William Patterson.
That's right,
He was
pioneers.
a graduate
Lifeline to Trent,
from the school, and now he's using that, and he's into an analyst. So
That's
he's a
great.
sports analyst.
That's great.
And he's doing that. So again, shout out to him, and lots of good luck to him.
Well, this is just a rewarding space, a rewarding opportunity for us, and I use that word so much because, it really is unique for me today to walk in, to the finished product, Mr. Francis and Mr. Coniglio, because it's something that I couldn't visualize when I was going into these spaces to meet you. I'm sure Brian O'Neill, who's been to a ton of meetings, maybe couldn't visualize it. And the first time you're here, it does kind of take your breath away. I know for being here 5 years, you may say, and I've been there, done that, Matt, but it is everything you could want and more. And we talked to, Mr. Siebert about, the visual space he has as well. When you go to college and she goes to Rutgers, Carmen Diaz, she may be surprised at the lack of new and the ability. And I'm sure your student you mentioned, William Patterson, maybe the first thing he said was that a lot of the equipment and a lot of the stuff I'm using is antiquated, and I had better stuff in high school.
Yeah.
And that's got to be just rewarding and a nice note to hear, when people leave and go to a college or another institution of learning.
And that's one of my goals, is to make sure that any and everything that we do here reflects what's happening out in the industry. So it doesn't make sense to use old antiquated equipment if when they transfer from high school out into the real world, that it's not going to equate or make sense. So we try to. It's not the most expensive. We try to do it on a budget. but we try to make sure that whatever it is that we have will reflect somehow, so they could leave from, whether it's leaving from high school and going out into the world of work, or or to college, or wherever they decide to go. I mean, we have kids that will leave and go out and start their own business on the side. We have a lot of kids that flow through our photography program and parlay that into a part-time gig. So that's what we strive on, making sure that whatever it is that we're teaching them, that it reflects to what's happening out in the real world.
Mario, you said you've been here for 5 years. Have you seen trends or movement or pivots from your students just in that 5 year period, where maybe when we started 5 years ago it was this, to where they're moving more to this, whether it's software or programming or the way they want to attack certain projects? Have you noticed any industry changes from the high school or this level, really? Any notable, at least?
Some students, like, you want to see them, everybody have their own podcasting channel, but some students, they go in different directions based on what their interests are, where their interests lie.
Correct.
For me, I'd love to see everybody have their own podcasting channel and do like a side business like Alvin has mentioned with regard to photography. I feel like with regard to the podcasting arena, it's relatively inexpensive to get started. And if you can find a nice a platform where it's not going to cost a student a ton of money to get set up, there's opportunities out there. And I listen to podcasts every day, so I try to like show them different things that are ongoing out there. And it doesn't have to be sports related, but I listen to a lot of sports podcasts. But whatever it is, there's opportunity out there, and it's just a matter of, hey, listen, maybe I need to do this, or maybe I need to at least try it. And I try to steer them in that direction. But to answer your question, there are definitely trends. It's just all about where the students' interests lie.
Right.
But if I had my way,
Yes,
I'd make everybody start their own channel.
Yeah.
And I mean, for where we are now, I mean, we're in this space currently, but this is not the only thing that we have in the School of Communications hub. We have 2 doors down, we have our TV studio. Across the hall, we have digital media, and we have photography. And so we have a lot that we do here to make sure that the kids are getting real world experience. And that's where I appreciate where you guys come in, allowing us to help you with football games, basketball games. You guys are doing a baseball game for us in a couple of weeks. And so our kids get to work with you guys and kind of see how different or how similar what it is that we do in school as it relates to the real world. So I can't say thank you enough for that. And I just don't want my other programs to see this podcast and say feel like they're left out. So hopefully what will happen the next time that we do this, they're all going to be beating down the doors wanting to be on.
Let's do it. I absolutely love that. Well, look, I can't sing both your praises enough. I think what you're doing is exactly, how you should attack high school students. You check things off the list that everyone to do again, have things, do things they never thought they would do, that they could fall in love with. It's exactly what we kind of tell our interns and college students or high school kids, that you should try everything. And then things you don't like, never do again. And things you do like and you never would have thought you would, continue to do it. So I love just the entire way you attack the entire program. And we can't thank you enough for letting us be a part of this in a really small way, really, truly. Well,
Thank you.
That's going to do it for this month's edition of Trenton Today. Once again, as always, brought to you by Capitol Health, Mercer County Prosecutor's Office, and Haldeman Ford Subaru. So many people to thank today. I want to thank first 2 teachers here, Alvin Francis and Mario Coniglio, Mayor Reed Gusciora, who joined us earlier, Mr. Andy Siebert from the teach leader of the performance arts here at Trenton Central High School. I want to thank Carmen Diaz, one of the performers at the event tomorrow. And we want to thank the infamous Ariana Soto, who's been here the entire time, who said nothing and has done a fantastic job, straight A's. So we want to thank her so much for her work as well. So until next month, I'm Matt Mirro. Chris Armour will be back, signing off, saying have a good day.